Hi, this is Mary Wisner from the Gallagher Law Library. This is our second lesson about law review articles. In part 1, we discussed what law reviews are. In this video, we'll show you where you can find law review articles. In part 3, we'll demonstrate how to search. Lots of sources cite law review articles. You'll see citations in casebooks, study aids, cases, other law review articles, and elsewhere. Here's an example from a civil procedure Hornbook. Footnote 27, see Ruth B. Ginsburg, Judgments in Search of Full Faith and Credit, that was in volume 82 of the Harvard Law Review, starting on page 798. By the way, Professor Ruth B. Ginsburg left teaching to become Judge Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Here's an example from a Supreme Court case where the justice cites an article by Senna Knudsen and Amy Wildermuth that was published in the Emory Law Journal. Students often see law review articles cited in casebooks. The casebooks might have short excerpts as well as citing the articles. For example, if your civil procedure class reads Walker versus City of Birmingham, a famous Supreme Court case from 1967, then you might see a citation to David Benjamin Oppenheimer's article, Martin Luther King, Walker versus City of Birmingham, and the Letter from Birmingham Jail, that was in volume 26 of the UC Davis Law Review, starting on page 791. Now, when you have a citation, you can look it up on HeinOnline, and then you'll see a PDF, or you can look up a text version in Lexis or Westlaw. On the Gallagher Law Library homepage, I can go down to the list of selected databases, and I see, under Articles, HeinOnline. Since I know a citation, I can just go up to the top here to the citation box and type in 26 UC Davis L Rev 791. And there's the article in PDF. If I want to download the whole article, I just click on the PDF logo, and here it is. This law review is fairly typical in that it starts with an introduction and then explains what it's going to cover in part 1, part 2, part 3, gives you a roadmap of what's coming. It's also fairly typical in that it has lots and lots of footnotes. You'll see about half of the text is above the line, and then about half the page has footnotes. This makes law review articles very useful research tools. If I go to the Law Journal Library, I can see that HeinOnline has many thousands of journals, not just from the US, but also from other countries, and they go back generally to volume 1 of the journal, whenever that was, whether it was in 1890 or 1990. You can also look up articles in Westlaw or Lexis. Let's do this in Lexis. Again, under selected databases, I click on LexisNexis. Both Westlaw and LexisNexis make it so that you can just type a citation in the big search bar. So here's the article, and you'll notice this is not a PDF. It's not formatted the same way it was when it was published. The footnotes are at the end, so you either have to click a link or scroll all the way down to get there. Some people like this format. Personally, I would rather read the PDFs from HeinOnline. Now, we could do basically the same thing in Westlaw, but as it happens, this article is not available, and that's because Westlaw didn't cover this journal in full until the volume after our article appeared in. You'll sometimes run into that where an article is too old to be in Lexis or Westlaw. Let's recap and look ahead. In part 1, we discussed what law reviews are. They are scholarly periodicals about law. In this video, we talked about where you will come across citations to law review articles and where you can look them up. In Part 3, we'll demonstrate how to search for articles. This has been Mary Wisner from the Gallagher Law Library. See our website for library services, research guides, and more. lib.law.uw.edu